Let's go ahead and call this meeting to order. Hang on, let me get my iPad fired up here. All right, let me go ahead and call the roll to see who's here. Andrew Gardner.
Here.
Sunita Ganapati.
Here.
Howard Lee. Howard? That's okay. Eshfar Menon, you here, Eshfar?
I'm here.
Great. Nick Muyo?
Sure.
Dick Santos?
Yes.
Vince Sanzeri? I see you, Vince. Vince, you want to say you're here? I did see Vince. And
Yeah,
I will note. Okay, that's great. And I will note for the record that we've got our good old friend Franco is here. Yeah, that's great. Vince is here, and we've got our good old friend Franco here, who is, out of the kindness and generosity of his spirit, joining us today as a member of the public, soon, hopefully, knock wood,
Here.
to be a member of the board again. Pam, are you on? Is Pam on yet? No.
Not, excuse me, not yet. Mr. Chair, Howard Lee just joined.
Oh, great. Howard, do you want to say you're here? Oh, thanks,
here.
Howard. Okay, great. Let me pull up my orders of the day. Okay, let's see. Remind me to restate it out loud, my motions on. We have some ground rules there, the generic ground rules for Zoom calls. All votes will be a roll call vote so that we can record it for the archive. If you're not speaking, keep it on mute. We've probably got 30, 40 people on this call, so if we're all on mute, we'll get less background noise. Most issues, I will go around the table after the issue. If you have anything sort of weighty or in summary to say, but if we're in the middle of a debate and you feel like jumping in and there's sort of an opportune moment, just go ahead and jump in. If that becomes untenable, I'll go ahead and restate the orders. But most boards now have learned the etiquette, and a lot of questions are temporal and in the moment, so don't hesitate to jump in. And that includes staff and you, Harvey, and everybody else. If you have a temporal question, I think it's helpful for the whole group if you just jump in and ask it. Right. Hey, I forget. Hey, Roberto, do we need to get a vote when we waive sunshine on something?
Yes, you do. If we're waiving a specific item, the board should approve the waiving. Yes.
Great. Then I will look for a motion to waive sunshine on item 4E, adoption of resolution 4820 on the actuarial equivalent assumptions. Do I have a motion to waive sunshine on that?
So moved by Santos.
Moved by Santos. Do I have a second? Second by Sanzeri. Great. Andrew, how do you vote?
Aye.
Anita?
Aye.
Howard?
Yes.
Eshfar?
Aye.
Nick?
Aye.
Dick? Dick, do you vote aye?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an aye from Dick. Vince?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. That puts us on to the consent calendar. Does anybody want to pull any items off the consent calendar for discussion? Going once, going twice. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar.
So moved, Santos.
Motion by Santos. Do I have a second?
By Muyo.
Second by Muyo. Motion by Santos. Muyo to approve the consent calendar. Once again, I will go through the roll call. How do you vote, Andrew?
Aye.
Anita?
Aye.
Howard?
Yes.
Eshfar?
Yes.
Nick?
Aye.
Dick?
Yes.
Vince?
Aye.
And I vote aye. If you guys keep this up, we're going to break the land speed record for a board meeting. I'm all in favor of that. On to you, Prabhu, for the investments portion of the meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, trustees. I have a couple of things to share with the board. So our final performance for calendar year 2020 came in from Makita, and the pension plan actually returned 13.7% for 2020. And 61 peers have reported, and thus far we are number 8 of 61 peers in the public plan universe. And so some additional peers will probably report in the weeks to come. For the month of January, the plan was down 7 basis points, so minus 0.07%. And our healthcare trust was up marginally, up 34 basis points. Those are performance numbers I wanted to share with the board. Some trustees may also wonder, given recent market volatility and the headlines surrounding GameStop and AMC, if that had any impact on our portfolio. None of our active long-only managers owned either of these stocks, so there's no impact there. We do invest in the Russell 3000 index. It's a passive investment, and that had a very, very small weight to these two stocks, 1/20th of 1 basis point, so really no impact to the fund. We do have one long-short manager who did own GameStop. But again, the manager did very well. For the month of January, was up 1.1%. So all in all, just for our pension plans, very little impact of this recent market volatility, especially with these two names. I wanted to share that with the board. I also want to let the board know that we have started our work on strategic asset allocation and have actually shared a lot of the data that we've received so far with the IC chair, and I expect to work closely with the IC chair in the weeks to come, and we will have some preliminary information for the information committee later this month. And I will also be reaching out to a couple of other IC members before the IC meeting to talk about some of the work that we've done and our findings. So we're looking forward to a very robust discussion of strategic asset allocation at the next investment committee meeting in February. Those are my formal remarks, Mr. Chairman. Happy to take any questions.
Anybody got any questions for our friend Prabhu? Just go ahead and jump in.
Yeah, Prabhu, it's Ishwar. Yeah, thank you for all the material on asset allocation. So I really appreciate it. And quick question, what is the fiscal year-to-date performance now?
So, the fiscal year to date, I do have that number. Let me
Yeah, you can tell you later on, yeah.
hold up the meeting, but as the meeting progresses, I will actually give you that number. I do have that in my email, my inbox.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions for Prabhu?
Hi,
If not, we'll
this
move
is
on. Go
Howard.
ahead, Howard.
Just a clarification. I wasn't sure if I heard it right. Did you say year 2020 was 13.7%? 1.3?
That's right. Yeah, 13
Okay.
points.
Great, thanks. That's great.
Yeah, Prabhu, you said we were only number 8. How did anyone beat us? Or are those some of those like closed plans? Or how did somebody do better than we did?
Well, the federated plan actually beat us.
Oh God, we're never going to live that down.
The federated plan was actually number 3, and I'm not sure who number 1 and 2 were. So we don't get to see who actually performed. It's all anonymous, so we just get to see our rank.
Great, thanks, Prabhu. Anything else for Prabhu?
I had a question on that. So does that mean the excess over the discount rate essentially will get amortized over whatever the amortization window is? Is that how one thinks about the 13.7?
So Trustee Sunita, in a way, I mean, obviously we have Kyron on the call that can provide a better explanation, but that will only happen in 2 situations, right? The first one is not the numbers through the calendar year, but the number to the fiscal year. So it will have to be the June 30th, 2021 number. And if that number is above, then, we have that excess. But then we also have to remember that from an actuarial standpoint, we use the 5-year smoothing. So we only account for 20% of the total return, market return for the year. So that's how it works. So the return for a particular fiscal year is really 20% of each of the market rate of returns for the prior 5 years, including the fiscal year that just ended. That's how it's calculated.
Any other,
I do.
sorry,
have
I'm
one.
eating an apple. Any other questions? Jump in.
Drew, so in response to Trustee Menon's question, so this is as of yesterday, the fiscal year to date return was 17.7%. And that's because, in addition to the last 6 months of the year being very strong, the first couple of days of February were also very strong. So this is as of 2/2/21.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, that's my question. Appreciate it.
Keep it up,
Okay.
Prabhu, please keep it up.
Yeah, we're gonna bronze you soon, dude. Any other questions for Prabhu? All right. If not, we'll jump on to item 3. I see our good friend Bill Hallmark of Chiron is here. Is that directly over to Bill? Roberto, do you want to make any opening remarks on 3A?
No, we can send it over to Bill. All I like to say is you as a board have been working on the evaluation for the healthcare, and at the last meeting made decisions on the assumptions which allow Chiron to finalize the results which they're presenting here this morning. So with that, I turn it over to Bill. Welcome, Bill. Good morning. Michael.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, I'm here with Mike Schenning to present the final actuarial evaluation results. Hopefully you can see my screen. Just want to start with a reminder that there are 2 different parts of the benefit: the explicit premium subsidy for retirees, and then there's an implicit subsidy due to the costs of healthcare being greater based on age. And so the retiree population generally has a higher healthcare cost than the active population, but they pay the same premiums. And so that implicit subsidy is paid by the city on a pay-as-you-go basis through their active employee health premiums. So the part that we are funding is the explicit premium subsidy. And this chart shows the breakdown of the projected benefit payments out for the next 70 years. And the explicit subsidy has dental benefits down here in gold, the medical benefits in dark blue, and then for Medicare eligible retirees, to the extent that the premium subsidy exceeds their actual premiums, they can use it to pay Part B premiums in Medicare. And so that's the teal color. The implicit subsidies, the green at the top. This valuation is to set contributions for fiscal year end 2022. It's only city contributions. The member contributions are fixed in the municipal code. And then we also use this for financial reporting. We, on the pension side, we show a single tank graphic frequently to explain the process of the valuation. Here we're showing the tanks split between police and fire and drawn to scale, showing their actual assets and the size of the liability in the UAL and the size of the contributions. There are a couple things I wanted to note in particular here. One is there are 2 separate trusts for each plan. There's a 115 trust that is just for funding retiree medical. And then there's a 401H account that is within the pension plan. Employee contributions go into that 401H account. And the city contributions go into the 115 trust. Right now, all of the benefit payments are coming out of the 401H account. But you can see here on the fire account, the 401H account is almost depleted. And so it'll be this year or next year, they'll have to start pulling benefit payments from the 115 trust, at least as well as the 401H, if not just switching it over. The other thing to note is because of the funding levels, we started funding these fairly recently. So the funding levels are much lower than the pension plan. And because of those funding levels, contributions are actually much more important than investment returns right now. The investment returns will build up as the assets build up, but with the low level of assets, we're not getting a ton of boost from the investment returns. They're still critically important in the long run, but in the short run, what's building the fund is the actual contributions. So here we have our normal charts showing the contributions from the prior year and the next year based on the valuation. And you can see the member contributions are in purple, and they are actually going down because the number of members eligible for full benefits is declining because it's a closed group. And that's the basis for the member contributions. The city contributions are going up from 15.3 to 17.2 for police and from 10.1 to 11 for fire. The red line is the normal cost. So that's the expected cost of the benefits attributable to the current year of service. And you can see the member contributions now are right about the level of the normal cost. So the city contributions are really going all to the UAL. The line at the top is our tread water line. That's the normal cost plus the interest on the UAL. And you have to contribute more than that to actually expect the dollar amount of the UAL to go down from year to year if all assumptions are met. We're right at the borderline for this plan on that tread water, and we'll show you the effects of that. It's very, very small. We're basically right on that line and holding even. As we get down the further along in the amortizations, we will start paying more than the interest and get above the tread water line. Here we're showing the funded status of both plans and just focusing on the explicit subsidy again. The blue area is the liability for the members who are currently receiving benefits. The gold is for those who have left the city but are still entitled to future benefits. And the red is for the active members. Now, again, because the group eligible for full benefits is declining, we expect the blue section of the bar to grow and the red section of the bar to decrease over time. Right now, I think it's about 2/3 of the benefits are, or of the liability is attributable to members in pay status, and that will grow over time. The police plan, the green line shows the assets. And so the police plan is about 32% funded and the fire about 28% funded. I'll turn it to Mike to go through some of the details.
Good morning, everyone. So this chart shows the actual results. And if we start at the top table, this is the actual contribution amounts. And going left to right, it has the police first and then the fire, and it compares the 2020 versus the 2019. And you can see that for the members, you can definitely see the decrease from about 6.7 million to 6 million for the members. For the police and for fire, it was basically flat from $10,000 less, so fairly flat. The city's contribution, though, you can really see the increase is from 15.3 up to 17.2 for police and 10 million to 11 million for fire. And then if we compare that, again, the city has the right to cap its contributions. And so this actually shows the allocated cap between the two. And it does show that while last year the city contributions were slightly under the cap, this year they're actually going to be over the cap by about $1 million in total, about $500,000 for each of the two plans. So if the city elected to, they could actually contribute less than the actuarial determined contribution at their choice. And then the bottom just shows the implicit subsidy number just for your amusement, I would say. And it's kind of interesting. The police implicit subsidy was basically flat, but the fire actually dropped quite a bit. And it really shows how much that can vary year over year, depending on the demographics and which plans people select and the shift between pre and post Medicare plans, which is one of the reasons why it's just an accounting number rather than something you're trying to fund. The bottom table then just shows the development of the unfunded actuarial liability on just the explicit subsidy piece, so the piece that the trust is actually trying to fund. And you can see that, again, police shows that the liability for the actives went up by 4.2% from 122 million to 127. The deferred vested dropped quite a bit, but it's a tiny amount of the number. It's basically because it's a very small number of people. It dropped from like 10 people to 4 people, and fire went from like 3 to 1. So you've got a very small number of deferred vested that are actually eligible for the benefit. The people in pay status, the existing retirees, did show a pretty big increase from 259 million to almost 300 million for police, and from 137 to 153 million for fire. And the later slide will really show that a lot of that's due to the assumption changes that went on. And so in total, the liability went up by 12% for police and 11% for fire, which again, you expect them to go up fairly similarly. The next line show the actual assets. So the assets went up by 10% from 125 to 138 for police, and from 61 to 71 for fire. So that the total unfunded actuarial liability actually did increase by 12.7% for the police portion, and then 8.9% for the fire portion. And so because the liability actually went up by more than the assets went up, the funded percentage dropped slightly from 32.5% to 32.1%. But the opposite happened for fire. So there it's actually increased from 27% to 28.2%. So made a little bit of progress over the year. So the next chart is actually kind of one we've added this year to really show where the liability comes from. And as Bill showed earlier, the pie chart on the left splits it in between, for those that are the retirees that are in pay status, between how much of the liability is due to their benefits before they're eligible for Medicare, how much is due to the benefits they get when they are eligible for Medicare, and how much is for dental. And then does the same thing for the actives, how much of their future liability is pre-Medicare, how much is post-Medicare, how much is dental. And then it has a little tiny sliver for the vested terms, and on a percentage basis, it's 0 because there's less than 10 members that fall in that category. But when you look at it, 2/3 of the liability is associated with the retirees that are currently getting benefits today. The other thing it really shows that the Medicare piece is the most important part of the liability is that, again, almost 2/3 or 64% are actually associated with the benefits that they'll get after they're eligible for Medicare. And only 27% is associated with the benefits they get prior to eligibility for Medicare. And then the last 9% is due to the dental benefits. So what happens with the Medicare eligible premiums and what Medicare happens to do to these programs is the real driving factor of the liability over the long term. The next chart then shows what caused the change in the unfunded liability. So the graph on the left shows, again, the UAL was $424 million last year. This year, it actually increased up to 472 million. And then the bars on the top really show how much of it's due to the various pieces. And the chart on the other page really shows the details. So it's of that almost $48 million increase in the UAL. The first thing we look at is how much is due to that actual contributions versus tread water. And as was pointed out in the earlier chart, the tread water amount for the two plans combined is 37.3 million. The actual contributions were 37.1. So you had about $161,000 increase in the unfunded due strictly to the fact that the contributions weren't enough to actually keep up with interest plus the normal cost. You had another $6.3 million increase due to the fact that the actual investment return for the fiscal year ending 6/30/2020 was less than the actuarial assumption. The health trend experience, which is really the changes in the trend rates, as well as the fact that the actual premiums went up by less than we expected, reduced it by almost $22 million. But that was offset by almost 19 million due to other experience changes around demographics. So the actual mix of members versus what we assumed it would be, the plans that they selected versus what we assumed would be, all that taken into account did that. And then the big thing was the assumption changes. And this is primarily that the reduction in the discount rate actually increased it by 44.2 million. So that was the real big driver of the increase in the unfunded liability, was the reduction in the discount rate. And so what this chart then shows is for the police portion of the plan, the long-term projections of where things will stand if all assumptions are met. The top chart shows the actuarial liability in the gray bar. So you can see it kind of increases over time, and right around 2032, 2033, it actually starts to flatten out and then starts to decrease. And that's really when all the current active members retire, and then they're moving through their pre-Medicare. So most of the benefits associated with members that are actually eligible for Medicare, so that starts to reduce it. The green line then shows what the assets would be as that grows over time. And then the numbers at the top show the funded percentage. So it shows again, if all assumptions are met, the funding percentages increases and you're almost at 100% funded by 2045. The chart on the bottom then shows the projected contributions. And again, the purple bars at the bottom are the member contribution. And you can see that that's actually dropping over time as this closed plan and the members finally start to retire. The gold bars are the projected city contribution. And again, you can see that's steadily increasing over time from the 17 million this year up to 35 million by 2043. And at that point, all the amortizations have happened, and now then it drops back to a very low level at that point. The red line then shows the city's maximum cap. And you can see that for all of these years, we're projecting that the actual determined contribution will be higher than the cap, so that if in fact the city elects to use the cap, that'll actually make the actual determined contributions higher going forward, because again, you won't be making the contributions to buy down the unfunded liability. The line in the next chart shows the same information for fire. And again, the chart at the top shows that it follows this very similar pattern to police, that eventually by 2045, you'll be 100% funded if all assumptions are met. And because of the age difference, the fire population on an average age is a little bit younger. It takes them a little bit longer to hit that stage where the benefit costs start to decrease. It's more around the 2040 timeframe. And then the bottom shows the exact same information. And the real note here is the fire contributions are much closer to the city's maximum contribution. So they're not as much over what that maximum is. But it's still a fairly big increase. I mean, they're going from an $11 million contribution to projected to be up to double that to 22 million by the time all the amortization pieces are done.
So we have our interactive model available if you want, but one thing I wanted to point out on this chart, this combines both police and fire, but also instead of assuming the city contributes the actuarially determined contribution on the charts Mike showed, this assumes that the city applies its cap and does not contribute the full amount. And so instead of being 99 to 100% funded at the end of the projection period, they'd only be about 75% funded. So the cap is just a small piece each year, but over this length of time, it really does make a difference in the funding levels. So we'll have to see what the city actually decides to do. But with that, we'll take any questions you may have.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Mike. Hey, let me just sort of real quick ask a question before we go around the circle here. Bill, I know it's hard to sort of give us a grade for something like this, but would you say we're doing better than most or worse than most for something like this? Can you give us some feeling for sort of how we're doing relative to our peers on something like this?
Well, I think the vast majority are still not funding these plans at all. And so you're way ahead there. For the plans that are funding, you are, I don't know, they're spread all over the map. Some of them are like 5 or 6% funded because they're really just getting started, or they're just contributing barely more than their benefit payments. But some, the federated OPEB plan is as well funded as their pension plan. So it really varies quite a bit. And I do know there are some plans around the country that are pretty well funded, but those are known because they're rare, not because there's a lot of them like that. So I wouldn't worry that you're at around 30% funded. The other thing to keep in mind is this is a much smaller liability than the pension plan. So even though it's only 30% funded, that unfunded piece is much more affordable than a similar amount would be under the pension plan. The final thing I'd note is the large benefits here are mostly closed. So you see it reaches a peak in liability in about 15 years. And so it's not that this plan is going to continue to get larger and larger. It is going to get larger for a while, but there is an end point to that.
That's exactly the answer I was looking for. Thanks, Bill. That helps me kind of orient where we are relative to our peers. We'll go around the table. Andrew, any questions for Bill or Mike?
No comment. Thanks.
Sunita, any questions for Bill or Mike?
One quick one. If the city exercises its cap, does that just push the liability higher in the future, or is it just reduce the liability?
It defers payment of the unfunded liability.
Okay. Thanks.
Thanks, Sunita. Howard, any questions?
No questions. Thank you.
Eshvar, any questions?
No, nothing from me. Thank you.
Nick?
Thank you, gentlemen. No questions.
Dick?
No, thank you.
Great. Vince?
Just one quick question. Given that the city has the ability to either meet the contribution or abide by the cap, how do we know which decision is made? I'm not sure that that's really been ever communicated to our board in the past.
Well, this is the first time they've ever been above the cap. So it's the first time that option exists for the city. because in prior valuations, we've been below the cap, so they had to contribute what we said. Now, having said that, we did consider this when we were establishing the funding policy. We set up a 25-year amortization, which is longer than we do for the pension. And one of the considerations, not the only consideration, but one of the considerations was trying to come up with a policy that worked and stayed below the cap. But I think that was put in when our discount rate was around 7% instead of 6.25. So that's changed that dynamic. So we've been aware of it, and we did some sensitivity testing of it a while back. But this is the first time it's really come into play.
Vince, if I may jump in, excellent question. I don't know that we have an answer for you, but because it's the first time that it happened. So I will reach out to the budget director and find out what the intention is, in addition to making sure that we establish a process where they let us know. I'm assuming that going forward, they will let us know, when they make a determination to make the contribution sometime in the spring. But I'll find out from, I'll reach out to the city and find out at least the intentions for this year and how we can work this going forward.
My only,
I just wanted to clarify technicality on the cap. We showed it on police and fire separately, but as I understand the cap, it's on the aggregate contribution. And so the other piece we would technically have to work out is how that shortfall gets allocated between police and fire. Since they're both over the cap, there's kind of a natural of applying the cap individually that we could use this year. But that policy has not been worked out either.
I was just going to say that I think it would be good for us to create a policy for our department to track what the actual contribution is relative to what was expected, so that cumulatively over time, we have that data and information. I imagine in the future, there will be questions about possibly the assumptions that we've made on the OPEB, how we've looked at various aspects of this plan, how we've invested assets, what the discount rate is, and so forth. And just having that piece of information, I think, would be valuable to keep in the mix.
We will be capturing that, and it gets put on their financial statements. So there will be a 10-year record of it on both the system CAFR and the San Jose CAFR.
Thank you.
That's great. Roberto or Prabhu or Barbara, Pam, you or Harvey, jump in if you have any questions.
I do have a question, and actually, if I could, Drew, and actually to follow up to the questions regarding the city's cap. My first question was, how often have they invoked the cap? And it sounds like they've never had to until this time. And the notification, we're not sure about that. The city again is in a budget situation where we may have to cut back expenses. I know I've received that memo as a city council person that I have to cut back the budget in my city council district. So it's likely to come, but I guess the question is if the city doesn't pay what is completely due and invokes the cap, the difference is added to the UAL, is that correct? So they pay now or they pay later?
Yes. So it just spreads out the payments. If you look out here on the far right, that's where you can really see the difference. These payments are quite a bit more than if I go back a slide. You can see out at that time, those payments dropped to almost nothing. And so it's really just delaying the payments and in prolonging the funding. Now, these charts assume all of our assumptions are met. And so the real issue with delaying the payments is not the situation when all our assumptions are met, it's when it gets worse than our assumptions. So,
right, so that makes sense to take care of the obligation as it's ongoing rather than deferring it. Deferring it makes it more expensive. So I'd be curious to see how the budget director responds, but thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Pam, I think that's a really good question. And that was sort of the direction I was going to when I asked in the beginning, how we're sort of doing relative to our peers. And what I sort of hear Bill saying is you're doing pretty good, you're sort of ahead of the curve. So I think you can certainly pass that along to the budget director as well. That, God help me for saying this, you know, if you've got to find some place to take a little, this may not be the worst choice. Harvey, Roberto, Barbara, Peru, any questions? If not, Roberto, what's the nature of this motion and vote? This is just to accept this report?
Yes, we will be accepting the report, and you can accept it or approve it. We have to eventually come back before your board based on really the city decisions. And in this particular one, as it relates to the cap or not, to then draft your contribution resolution for action, which is really what officially determine what the contributions for the city are going to be for next fiscal year.
That's great. So I'll just go ahead and make the motion. I move that we accept this report from Chiron. Is there a second to that motion?
Second, Santos.
That's a motion by Lanz, a second by Santos on item 3A. Any discussion prior to the roll call? If not, Andrew?
Aye.
Nita? Howard?
Yes.
Eshvar?
Aye.
Nick?
Aye.
Dick?
Yes.
Vince?
Aye.
Great. Roberto sent me a quick text while we were in this section saying, hey, we're on a roll. We got Chiron going. So with your permission, Roberto, and your suggestion, I think is a good one. We've got two more things for them, 4C and 4D. If I read your suggestion right, 4C is discussion on the 5-year contribution projections. Roberto, is that right? You want to go straight to that?
Yeah, I mean, of course, if the board is in agreement with that. And before we go, Drew, just wanted to ask one last question to Bill. And I know the information is in the presentation and the report, but I didn't want to have to look through it. What's the dollar difference between the cap and the required contribution, Bill?
I think it was about $1 million.
Okay, all right. Just wanted to make sure so that we, you know, when I reach out to the city, I can flow that amount. Okay, thank you.
So go ahead, Bill. Why don't you keep going on the 5-year city contribution projections, which is our item 4C.
Okay, this item is just a letter that pulls together the projections that we've presented for the pension plan and the projections we presented today for the OPEB plans for the city's budgeting purposes. And it breaks the contributions into some different pieces that they use. But there's nothing new here. It's all the same information that was presented to you in the past. We do include in here an estimate of the amounts if the city decides to pre-fund and pay their contributions at the beginning of the year for Tier 1 and for the OPEB. And so, and that discount assumed that you applied the full discount rate for a half year. And I know that's something that comes up in your board meetings. I don't know if that's next month or the following month, but there's usually a decision about what discount rate to actually apply. So it really is just putting together all the information on 5-year projections that we've already presented.
Mr. Chair, I just wanted to add to Bill's comment, which is he's absolutely right. I have informal discussions with the head of the finance department on another issues, but it does have an impact on the city decision on pre-funding contributions. And so that discussion that Bill stated at the board level, I'm not sure yet. I have spoken to Prabhu a little bit whether we're going to go to the IC first or come directly to the board, but we're going to have to have that discussion at the board level at some point to decide what discount rate to use and whether there are going to be any further cut or savings for the city. So then once that decision is made, we can relate that decision to the cities and the city can decide whether they're going to pre-fund contributions or not. So I just wanted to make that point that discussion is forthcoming and I suspect it's going to be before you sooner rather than later.
And Roberto, does that sort of get decided by the investment committee or does that get decided by the full board?
No, it's getting decided by the full board. And Prabhu, correct me if I'm mistaken, or maybe somebody else. I think the reason we have in the past started the discussion at the IC level is because I think one of the decisions that staff looked at to make a recommendation to the full board is sort of expectations going forward, right, on the capital markets. And so, if we were in a huge downturn, I would say we will be more willing and expecting some sort of a upswinging in the market. We'll be more willing to be wanting to have assets coming in or funding to deploy. Vis-a-vis, in the contrary, if we feel that this may be a downturn coming, we may be less willing to have to deploy, $300 million. So I think that's, I would expect that the discussion sort of to take place along all the discussions at the IC level, and then from there coming to your board. But we really haven't worked out the specifics internally. So again, I don't know if we're going to go to the IC first and then to your board, but I think at this point we're thinking IC first and then your board soon after that. I don't know if you have any further comments, Prabhu.
Yeah, I'm sure. Before you go, Prabhu, I'm sure we're happy to recommend to adopt whatever staff recommends because, as you say, it's a full cycle and you're just organizing the sequence of the cycle. Go ahead, Prabhu.
Yeah, so we've used Roberto's right. It goes to the IC. We usually discuss this at the IC and then goes to the board. We've used the same methodology the last few years, and the methodology was approved by the IC a few years ago. And we will be discussing it at the upcoming IC. And just so you know, if the IC sticks with the same methodology, and if the IC chooses not to change the methodology for this year, the city will get the full discount. So we will not apply any haircut to the discount. But of course, it's at the discretion of the IC, and the IC is free to change the methodology. But as it stands now, if we follow the same methodology that we used the last 3 years, the city stands to get the full discount.
Right. And that methodology seems to have worked well, right, Prabhu and Roberto? Yeah. Great. If there these items 4C, D, and E are very related. If there are any specific questions on 4C, the floor is open right now. If there's sort of more general commentary, let's wait till we get through all three items. So are there any specific comments or questions on 4C?
Mr. Chair, I will, the C was just a discussion, so you can accept it if you want or not. It was just a discussion, but for D and E, the board is going to have to actually take action to approve the recommendations. I just want to make a distinction between the two.
Yeah, no, that's good. Thanks for pointing that out, Roberto. I just read through them, seeing if 4D and E can be put together, but they have some slight differences. So we will pause after 4D and then, of course, after 4E for the vote. Bill, go ahead and go on to 4D, the discussion and action on the assumptions.
Okay, so these are assumptions for actuarial equivalence for the 2021 calendar year. So when a member retires, they have an automatic form of benefit, but they have other optional forms that they can elect. And those other forms are calculated to be actuarially equivalent. So the expected present value of the benefits is the same regardless of the form that the member elects. The municipal code says that those are to be based on the assumptions from the last valuation. And so there's not a whole lot of discretion here. Let me share my screen so I can show the one table. So there's not a lot of discretion here because all the assumptions are spelled out in the valuation, other than we have to use unisex mortality. And so we do set a blending to make a unisex mortality table. And we've done that in the past, saying 95% male, 5% female for members, and 5% male and 95% female for beneficiaries. We're not suggesting any changes. The only change this year is the interest rate, which reflects the change in the valuation. So there's not really much of any discretion here for the board, but the municipal code says that the board has to adopt by resolution these assumptions. And so the next item is the formal board resolution that would allow you to adopt these assumptions.
Great. Any questions for Bill on this item?
Yeah, this is Howard.
Go ahead, Howard.
One question I had was, Bill, and I don't know if it says that the board only has discretion on the blending, but if it's all based on the relative percentage of the actuals of male and female, why do we actually have to have any kind of discretion? Couldn't it just sort of reflect that and we don't have to worry about it?
Well, that would be your discretion to make that decision.
Oh, okay.
Spoken like a true actuary, Bill. Hey, Roberto, would you remember that for next year? Bill?
Yes.
I think what we
that's a really good question, Howard.
We've approximated that actual split, and I would encourage you to just leave that blending as it is and periodically check to see if the actual split varies significantly from that, rather than having us, calculate a precise percentage split each year.
Yeah, that's a good piece of advice. Any other questions for Bill?
Thanks, Bill.
If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So move, Santos.
Motion by Santos to approve this. Is there a second?
Gardner, second.
Second by Gardner. Going around the table, Andrew?
Aye.
Anita?
Aye.
Howard? Eshfar?
Aye.
Eshfar?
Aye.
Aye.
Dick?
Yes.
And Vince?
Aye.
Trustee Lands, I vote aye as well. This is the final item 4E, adoption of resolution 4820 on the actual actuarial assumptions we're going to use. Bill, do you want to say anything about this?
No, that's just the resolution that sets the assumptions that were in the memo.
Does anybody want to discuss this any further? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve this.
Motion to support.
Great. Santos moved to approve this. Is there a second?
Gardner, second.
Second by Gardner. Going around the table, Andrew?
Aye.
Benita?
Aye.
Howard?
Yes.
Eshfar?
Aye.
Nick?
Aye.
Dick?
Yes.
Vince?
Aye.
Chair Lanza, I vote aye as well. Usual excellent job, Bill and Mike. Thanks so much. Any other comments, Bill, Mike?
No, not today. Thank you very much.
Great. Thanks, gents. So 4A, over to you, Roberto.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As usual, I have an oral report. It will be relatively quickly, but of course, I'm happy to answer any questions. The main task that we were working on in January was to complete our 1099 forms, our forms, which are the taxable forms for the beneficiaries, and they were all completed and issued last month. So that's great. That was the main goal this month, in addition to the payroll. I also want to let you know that the police and fire retiree cost of living adjustment, we're working through those calculations right now, and they will be paid with the beneficiary payment for the month of February. So at the end of the month, retirees should see their cost of living increase in their paycheck. In addition to that, the guaranteed purchasing power for 2020 will be paid to those that qualify again also in February. For those of you who do not know what that is a way to provide an increase in benefit to members that have lost more than 25% of the purchasing power since their retirement date. So that's what the guaranteed purchasing power is to keep them at a 75% base of their original benefit. We also wanted to let you know, as you know, working remotely, sometime back, we actually purchased laptops for all the staff. And so we are about 95%, we have provided the laptops to all the staff. So we may have just 1 or 2 more staff just pending receiving the laptop to work from home. We'll be observing President's Day on Monday, February 15. Of course, as you know, our offices have been closed since last March, but we won't even be working remotely on Monday the 15th. I also want to let you know we have 2 benefit positions: the senior benefit analyst and a benefit analyst position. They're both we are looking to fill. Both of them closed last month, and so we will keep you posted. We're now going through the resume process, and hopefully later on will be them performing interviews and hopefully selecting the candidates to fill both positions. Staff is also currently working on the annual administrative budget for fiscal year 21-22. Our goal right now is to bring the presentation to your board meeting for the March meeting. So that's what we're shooting for. And again, we're working diligently through that process. The city issued some directives that they were hoping some further cuts to base from last year in the range of about 5-7%. So we are working through that. And lastly, right now, there are actually 2 positions that are open on the police and fire trustees. They're both the police retiree and active members. We continue in communication with the city clerk to just find out what the recruitment process and the dates are going to be. As soon as we hear from the city clerk, we will keep you posted. That concludes my update, Mr. Chair. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Great. Floor is open if anybody has anything for Roberto. You covered everything so well, Roberto, that there is a roaring silence.
I understand. That's good to know.
That's good. It means you did your job well. Over to you, Councilwoman Pam Foley, if you want to give us an update on the city.
Okay, great. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I already talked about the budget a little bit. We're heading into budget session, and we're also heading into priority setting session, which will be a little bit different this year as we create a roadmap on how the city can get services done, expand our operations, improve our operations, all in the light of COVID. So we have a study session at the end of this month. We also have a study session tomorrow that talks about how we will thrive and survive post-COVID. So that should be interesting. It's more of a, I think, an aspirational discussion, but tune in. It's from 9 to 12 in the morning. It'll be interesting what we say and how we move forward and what some of our priorities are as council members. Also, I wanted to report that at the council meeting on Tuesday, we did approve, last week we approved a eviction moratorium that has been superseded by the governor and legislators' action a few days later. Their move was expected, but we didn't know it was coming, so we had to protect our residents should the governor and legislator not come to an agreement on that. We also imposed just Tuesday a rent freeze that affects through June 30th, I believe, and it affects anyone who is in either a mobile home or a rental property affected, and they're unable to pay their rent as a result of COVID. So there was a lot of discussion, particularly between the mobile home park owners and the mobile home owners, and we came to an agreement that they agreed unanimously, which is actually unusual, that homeowner or property owners come to an agreement with the mobile home park owners. And I was really actually happy to be involved in those discussions and lead that discussion. The other thing of note, you probably read it in the paper today, if not online yesterday, the city has approved moving forward on hazard pay for grocery workers. That was approved Tuesday as well, but it will come back to council on this the 9th to approve the ordinance. There is a request for an urgency ordinance, which means it needs 8 city council members to approve it, or they can approve, which would mean it would take effect immediately, or they can approve an ordinance that is non-emergency and it will take effect in 30 days. I was not able to vote on that ordinance or that issue, although I did support going forward and looking into the issue further and determining what it would mean. I think it's important to help our employees out, but I had to recuse myself because in my Foley mortgage company, I have a profit sharing plan, and in my profit sharing plan, we have Amazon stock, and Amazon owns Whole Foods. So because Whole Foods would be one of the businesses affected by this rent freeze, I had to recuse myself. A little bit of drama occurred over that because actually I didn't realize my connection to the grocery business as I was discussing the issue. So I recused myself after I had discussed it. And there was, that was just an interesting discussion ensued, let me say that. The vice mayor also had to recuse himself at that point as he has Amazon stock as well, although he may sell his stock so he can participate in the discussion next week. I don't plan on selling my stock. It's a benefit to my employees. And just like the police and fireman retirement fund, you want to increase your benefits as much as you can. And that's what we plan to do and we have to do as fiduciaries. So with that, I'm open to answer any questions you may have.
Thanks, Pam. Anybody have any questions for Councilwoman Foley?
Yeah, can I ask a question? So, Councilwoman, a quick question on how is the vaccination program going in the city?
A good question. We had a long discussion about that. The vaccination program is actually being administered by the county, and we are at the table to help them facilitate locations within the city, but we really have no jurisdiction over it. We have expressed our concerns about Blue Shield being the appointed distribution point from the state, and Also with Kaiser, there's some slowdown there. There's a lot of frustration over vaccine distribution, and it's very complicated. A lot of people are having webinars to discuss it, but the city doesn't have any direct involvement other than we are at the table discussing how best to roll it or how best to help with facilities in the city of San Jose.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Councilwoman Foley? Thanks, Pam. That was very helpful.
Thanks.
Back over to you, Roberto. 4F, our actuarial contract.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. So you all know by now, Chiron has been working for your board, and in fact, both boards for about 10 years now. I believe the first contract was in the range from 2011 to 2015. I joined your boards in 2013, and we actually work on issuing an RFP, not only for the actuarial services contract for the 2016 year, but we in fact also added an RFP for actual audits, which first time ever that both plans evaluations were audited was in the 2016 fiscal year. That was the last time Chiron was actually selected to continue providing services to your board as your actuary, and you boards, on both boards, actually also contracted with Seagull to provide actual audit services. And in fact, many of you probably don't know this, but Seagull actually used to provide services to, I think it was the Police and Fire Board pension plan, if I'm not mistaken, before Chiron became your actuary in 2011. And so both of those contracts are coming to an end on June 30th, 2021. And so we have two options. One is to obviously implement and perform another request for proposal for both kind of services. We discussed this internally, and we are actually very happy with the service that Chiron provides to the staff. We don't want to speak for the boards. That's really up to you. That's why this item is before you today. And in addition to that, we felt that Seagull provided excellent service when they did the actual audit back in 2016. So I reached out to both firms, and I received from both firms comments that number one, they will be happy to extending the contracts if possible. In terms of actual services, Chiron, right now your contract works so that there is an increase tied to the consumer price index change in the San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose area, and they will be willing to continue that approach for the next 5 years. So the base will not change from the first time. It will only change going forward, just as I've been changing now, just based on the change of the CPI. In terms of Seagull, they certainly will be willing to do the audit at the same price, same cost as they were hired to do the audit back in 2016. So I wanted to provide that kind of background, and I'm not going to read the memo. I think the memo is self-explanatory, but just wanted to let you know that staff is recommending extending both of those contracts for at least another 3 years for 22, 21, 22, and 23, or 22, 23, 24. 21, 22, and 23 fiscal year. So with that, I'm happy to entertain any questions.
The floor is open if anybody has any questions on this issue.
So, is Chiron for the actuary for or the consultant for both plans, or do you have a different one? Okay, so I'd imagine you'd want to have. It looks like in the past it was different. I didn't follow what you were saying, but I'd imagine you'd want to have the same firm.
Yeah, so our goal is to have Chiron for both plans. Way back before 2011, there were separate actuarial firms for the plans. That changed with the hiring of Chiron for the 2011 fiscal year. So since then, for the last 10 years, Chiron has been providing actuarial services to both plans. And we will certainly recommend the same. Just as we come before your board this morning, we will be recommending the same approach, depending on, obviously your final board decision today, to the federal board later this month.
The only question I had was, do you have in these firms, is it essentially a one-person show? Is there key man risk, so to speak?
That's a very good question. It's not a one-man show. It is to the extent that our main contact person is Bill Hallmark. But if you may, they do have other Bill Hallmarks across the firm. So Bill has a number of clients that we're with, but there are other lead actuaries that do work with other public pension plans. So there is a risk, key from the standpoint that Bill does know more about our plans than their other lead actuarial key people. But if something will happen to Bill, or Bill decides to move on, we certainly could continue services with another lead actuary, although obviously that's a very good question. And I'm assuming at that point, if Bill decides to leave, there's always a chance that your board may want to then at that point seek RFP, because again, he's such a key person to the service that they provide to us.
I wonder if you have anything like that in your contract. I mean, I'm not familiar with the actual business. But...
That is a very good question. I do not know. I don't know if is Benji. Benji, are you at the meeting? Are you connected? Doesn't appear that Benji is. Benji is our accounting manager, and she is the one that is closer to the action. I apologize. We'll have to look at the contract. I'm not aware that we have a key, so we'll have to find out and get back to you.
I don't need, I mean, I'm not saying we should hold up the vote for that, but just something for you to look at, I guess.
Sure.
And then one last question, which is, does the contract have some provision for them educating trustees a little more? I mean, I don't want to use up their time, but they certainly have more questions than a board meeting would warrant.
So they do, their services include a range of services that they provide, and they always stand ready to provide further education to the board members if they so desire. Of course, they do speak at other kind of public meetings where they provide the information about the plans besides the board meetings. But yes, this is something that they certainly can provide further education to trustees as needed.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions on this issue for Roberto?
A question, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, go ahead, Harvey.
Thank you. Hey, Roberto, on the additional funding that's listed in the recommendation, is that a not to exceed that additional amount, or is that a fixed payment amount?
It's not to exceed.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Harvey.
Meanwhile, I'm going to be looking right now at the contract to answer Trustee Ganapati's questions about key man and education. So I'll pull that up right now.
Great. Yeah, go ahead and jump in anytime you got that answer, Harvey. Any other questions for Roberto on this?
Yeah. Hi, Roberto. Just a question on process. I think the contract started, I guess, 10 years ago. And I know that you talked about evaluating either RFP or continuing as we're recommending now. And it seems like everyone's pretty pleased so far with the quality of the work. But how would we know if the pricing is reasonable within the market? And if we continue without an RFP, we just won't know that. I assume that that's less important than the quality of the work.
So that's a very good question. That's really an issue for the board to decide. My view on that is that I will be happy just continuing the services and the contract to increase on the annual basis based on CPI. In other words, my main issue was I didn't want them to start this new contract with a new base, and they decided not to do that. But to answer your question, I mean, we could issue a request for information, right? Just to see what what's the cost that is going around right now in the market. Although I think, as the memo indicate, I think in the actuarial services in California for public plans, we are somewhat limited to a handful of different firms. So I would suspect those costs to be, again, this is speculating on my part because we haven't done the work. It will be pretty consistent, some of the different firms. But if this is something that the board would like to pursue, we certainly can pursue it. Again, my goal here was we are very happy with the service. And I think it would be appropriate to, if you decide to extend the contract, to at least provide, tie it to CPI going forward, which is what I was hoping. And then on the actuarial side, the fact that they're willing to do the audit 5 years later for the same cost, I think it speaks for itself. I thought that was very reasonable. If you look at the contract, the memo for the actuarial audit, I just wanted to add, I believe the total amount was $250,000 last time, but that was because I believe the audit was limited to $100,000. The other $150,000 was included in the original contract, just in the event that the boards requested Seagull to perform other kind of actuarial services besides audit. In those 5 years, the boards did not request Seagull to provide further services. So if your board decide to also extend that contract, I would recommend to just do an actual audit contract without extending services. If you do decide to add further funds for potential actuarial services, then I also received information from Seagull that if that is the case, for those services, they would like to take a look at their hourly costs from the staff to provide those new numbers for that. So I took that to mean that if that's the case, that cost may be higher.
Great. Any other questions?
Mr.
Any other
Chairman,
questions? Oh, good. Harvey, got it? Yeah, go ahead.
Reporting back, the Chiron contract does have a key person provision, excuse me. And it includes Bill Hallmark and Mike Shinning, and also the senior actuary at Chiron, the most senior actuary there, Gene Kalwarski, who's a resident in their Virginia office. Some of you may know Gene. I think Gene has appeared once in a while in front of the board. So it does have a key person provision. It also, the scope of services is also broad enough to encompass board education and keeping the board apprised of current trends and progress and legislation at the federal level, for example, regulations that come down, et cetera. So there is a full scope of essentially whatever the board would like Chiron to do for the board. It is part of their underlying contract.
Thank you.
So Harvey, thanks. So Harvey, Personity's question, would it be appropriate for Sunita, if she wanted to reach directly out to Bill and ask him some questions or for some individual answers? Is that appropriate?
You know, I would never say whether it's the actuary or investment consultant or legal services. I would always want board members to feel comfortable reaching out to your consultants. I think it would be better instead of doing it on a one-on-one basis, however, that it's done for the entire board together. And it doesn't have to be at a formal board meeting, you know, at a regular board meeting. I just think it's better practice to have the board get the education collectively as opposed to one-off for each particular board member. But it's not to close any doors. I think it's favorable, and the consultants can be more organized about it than doing one-off conversations with board members.
Yeah. Yeah. So Sunita, yeah, go ahead. If there's something you sort of want Bill to come in and talk about, go ahead and frame it up with Bill. I'll say, Harvey, I've sat through Harvey's lecture sort of on conflicts now 4 or 5 times, and I always find it enjoyable. I always find it worthwhile. I always learn something new. So even if the board members have heard this before, I guarantee you, anything you think useful that you would like to sort of dig into or know from Bill, the whole board will benefit from it. So feel free to work with Roberto if you want to frame something up with Bill and have him come in and present it.
I'll also say one of the benefits of, if there are any benefits, one of the benefits of Zoom meetings is that you don't have to have Bill get on an airplane from Portland and fly down for a session. It's really quite economical for him to patch in by phone and address the board, and everybody get advantage of. It's a subject matter that is not intuitive, so I think everybody would benefit from hearing it again and again.
Andrew, was that? Who's that? That was Andrew. Go ahead, Andrew first, and then Roberto.
Yeah, we had a similar conversation, around, trustees reaching out to our consultants a couple of years ago. Because I know it was starting to run into some issues and some gray areas on, is the consultant going to be billing us for this, for those, extra hours, so forth. And I believe it, at times it did hurt us. And I think, if I remember correctly, the conversation ended up with, let's, if we want to, get some side work or side conversations going on with the consultants, that we were going to reach out to Roberto first or get him involved, just so he's aware of what's going on, because it could be a budget issue. Roberto, do you remember any of that? Does that ring a bell at all? Or is it?
Yeah, so I wanted to make 2 comments. In response to your question, Trustee Gardenia, you are correct. My understanding is that I think on the investment side, I don't know that the contract is per hour. So when you reach out to investment consultant, the cost may be the same. But when you reach out to, and we love working with counsel and Bill, but as soon as you pick up that phone or send that email, whatever time they spend on trying to address your questions, that is billed to us. So it is extra cost to the plan. But, I think by the same token, as counsel indicated, I wouldn't want to be in a position, nobody would, where you would want to limit the access of trustees to your consultants. But I think what you're suggesting is appropriate. And I was just going to suggest, with the onboarding before the pandemic, it was a little easier, but I think it's also easy now through the Zoom meetings. I don't want to just keep the education to actuarial services, although I did try to provide, I recognize I'm not Bill and I don't have that kind of background. I did provide some actuarial education before the evaluations for both plans. But to Sunita's point, which I think is very fair, I think many of you, when you join the board, some of you have been trustees for 10 years now, have plenty of exposure to the actuarial work, but some of you that are just more recent may want more education. So what I would suggest we do, whether it is actuarial, whether it is legal, or whether it is investment, I would recommend that if some of you have some questions or would like further education from our consultants, please do reach out to us. If it's investment, we can work it through Prabhu and the investment consultants. I know staff always stand ready to provide a very good basic education on our on the plan asset allocation, and we can also have extended education to have an investment consultants. If it's legal, I know that Harvey will be happy to provide further education in that area. for fiduciary responsibilities as a trustee. And if it's actuarial, we certainly can have Chiron put together a presentation that, you know, if you have different questions from different trustees, we can sort of tailor the presentation to the specific questions that have been raised. So this is something that we can work out. And much, you know, again, I don't want to limit your access to your consultants, but to the extent that we can work this out through the office, I think that will make, I think will be more efficient use of everybody's time.
And
Great.
just to piggyback on that, Sunita, I'm all for trustees getting whatever education they need to feel more comfortable in the discussions. And, you know, if that's with Chiron or, you know, investment consultant, legal counsel, I'm all for it. I just want to make sure, you know, we are getting billed on the side, and if we have multiple, you know, trustees calling Chiron for the same questions, you know, it's hoping that we could potentially streamline and coordinate it. And that's all I'm asking and trying to make people aware. But I'm 100% for your education.
Yeah, and you know, it's been very helpful to have Roberto sort of tee up the actuarial discussion and so on and so forth. I mean, it is a complex subject. And and so I was more anticipating that given our discussions in December, that we might have more to learn. So yeah, I absolutely will agree with the concept of routing it via Roberto, because if there is an in-house answer, we don't need to go to Chiron. There's no need to pay for that. Absolutely.
Great. Any other questions for Roberto? Let me weigh in briefly. You know, we have great confidence in our staff, and a strong recommendation from staff is almost certainly good enough, but let me amplify it. Part of I've said what I want to achieve during my chairmanship is to dig more deeply into our deviations from forecast of our assets and liabilities over time. And that will require an enormous amount of support from our actuaries. I've already spoken with them twice about that level of support. So as chairman, I like to weigh in, Roberto, that given that, we'll talk about that in 2 items from now, strategic planning for the board. Not only do we, of course, accept not only do I accept your recommendation, Chair, but I amplify to the board that this is not the appropriate time to change horses. We're right in the middle of the stream. So the floor is open for a motion to extend this contract per staff's recommendation. Do I have a motion?
Santos.
Motion from
support.
trustee Cesari.
Motion from Cesari. Dick, will you second that?
Yep.
Great. Second, motion by Cesari, second by Santos. Andrew?
Aye.
Sunita?
Aye.
Howard?
Yes.
Ashvar?
Aye.
Nick?
Aye.
Dick?
Yes.
Vince?
Aye.
And I am Chairman Lanza, also Trustee Lanza. I vote aye as well. Let's see, 4G, your strategic communications plan, Roberto, which I'll point out is going very well. Over to you, Roberto.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we have Barbara standing by. You cannot tell how excited she is, and she's so much looking forward to provide you an update on the strategic communication plan that your board approved this past summer. So with that, I'll turn it over to Barbara.
Thank you, Roberto. Michelle, if you want to bring up the second attachment on the item, just so as the board have a visual of what the original plan, yeah, that's the exact one. So, so yes, Barbara Heyman, Deputy Director for ORS. So this memo update on the communication activities that were part of the board's strategic communication plan. The original timeline for the activities was presented last year at the September 2020 board meeting, and the timeline shows activities through June 30th, 2022. So this is the first update being provided to the board since the original plan was presented in September. So the activities, as you can see, planned up to December 2020 included, completing a website redesign and launch, providing some webinars and videos on retirement planning and open enrollment, publishing the newsletter, expanding email outreach, doing additional outreach related to open enrollment, launching some social media like Facebook and Twitter, and also adding a question submission function to our member direct portal. In addition to posting a state of the retirement system address video and planning additional videos. So just getting into each one of those then for taking the website redesign. For instance, this one hasn't been fully completed yet. To be complete by December 2020. We are still working on it, though we did develop the portion of the website that related to open enrollment, and that was launched back in October. As I say, we're continuing to work on the remainder of the website with a view to launching that in April 2021. And we're planning to make a presentation to the board on the new website before it is launched to the public. For the retirement planning webinars, that was complete. We've got now a presentation on the website, and it gives retirees information on the retirement process, or well, prospective retirees. And there's also a series of retirement planning Zoom webinars that are scheduled throughout the year. They take place every, I think it's every 3 months. In addition then, we've got for the webinar that was for the open enrollment, that also was completed back in October, and that was posted on the new redesigned open enrollment website. And in addition, for this year, in lieu of an actual in-person health fair, the health vendors did a virtual kind of health series throughout October, November. And as part of that, they held open enrollment webinars and also one-on-one virtual meetings. So that was also implemented this year. So in addition, ORS did produce some videos and tutorials on the open enrollment process. So that was done. Additional outreach for the open enrollment. As we do every year, we mail out an enrollment packet to all the retirees. And in addition, ORS attended and presented at the Retiree Association meetings to give an open enrollment presentation. And moving on to our Retirement Connection newsletter. That is a quarterly newsletter. It's actually been a year now. We've done a full year of newsletters, and we're continuing to work on that. The next one will be published in April and distributed in April 2021. And that's distributed via the retirement website. It's posted on our website. It's mailed to actives and retirees, all the population, in hard copy, and it's also emailed. So we're using various ways to try and get that distributed. And then in addition, we were asked to expand our email outreach. So we've been, we did for the end of last year, mostly it was for our open enrollment and distributing through email, dates, times, webinar information. So that was done. And we also are distributing, as I say, the newsletter via email. One of the other features that was asked for, or was part of the plan, was a question submission function to be added to our member direct, and we did implement that, and it's actually very popular with our membership. So then for the Facebook and Twitter, that we are still working on. That's not completed yet, hasn't been launched, but we do anticipate that coming out later this year in April, in the April to June timeframe. Then on our posting of the state of the retirement system address, we're planning on creating one. One hasn't been done yet, and we hope to produce one of these when we have a better understanding of the impact of COVID-19 on our operations. We anticipate that happening at the end of this year, in the October to December 2021 timeframe. And then obviously we are continuing to plan on adding additional videos on various topics for the membership. And that concludes the update for the strategic plan activities.
Great, thanks, Barbara. Floor is open if anybody has any questions for Barbara or Roberta. You want to make any comments?
Before there are any questions, again, I just want to thank Barbara. I can tell you that Barbara and Linda has been leading the charge on the newsletter, the quarterly newsletter, which I think it was part of your packet under consent. It's produced every bi-weekly, and we have received very good comments from retirees and active members on that communication. And in terms of the rest of the communication plan, really is being led by Barbara. So it's a project that, as you all know, way back when she was the IT manager, she implemented the new pension administration system, doing an excellent job. So this is, project management is really part of her strength, and I think she's doing a terrific job. I can tell you of all this communication, I think the one area that I have key in, and she understands that we feel is extremely important, which we want to share with you before it goes live, is the update on the website. So that's if I have to key, on one issue here, is that particular update. We want to make sure that it's user friendly, and it has certainly not only updated, but very good information for our stakeholders. So we're looking forward to presenting it to you. I think our goal right now is your April meeting. And so just as we also like to share that to some of the members through our membership, so we can solicit input before it is finalized, sometime possibly in the late spring before the fiscal year is over with. And then the other thing that I also wanted to mention have to do with the extension, implementation of further options to reach out to our membership with this, the implementation of the Facebook and Twitter accounts, right? We certainly want to make sure that we use all our options available to us to reach out and communicate to our membership. But by the same token, we also recognize that to use a tool that is actually effective, we have to have resources committed to it. So just implementing accounts, if we don't have the resources to be able to maintain a good and timely communication, that would not work. So it's a joint effort, right? That we have to make sure that they both happen at the same time. And as you know, budget issues these days, because of the pandemic, has been a challenge. So we're just kind of trying to walk a fine line between continue pushing the plan vis-a-vis making sure that we have the right resources so that they work effectively. So with that, we're happy to entertain any questions.
Any trustees have any questions or comments?
Drew, is Andrew, can I speak?
Yeah, sure.
I also wanted to, recognize, Linda and Barbara for the newsletter. And that's something that, Dick has talked about for a while. I've been encouraging it, and I've only heard good things about it. So excellent job to both of you and whoever else is supporting in getting the newsletter out on a quarterly basis. I think it's been well received. I'm also very excited about the communication plan in general, especially the the website launch and all the ideas with the short videos on the website. I am anxiously waiting to see what it looks like and the functionality of it, because I believe that will bring great service to our active retirees and the members that are already retired. So yeah, thank you very much. And yeah, Roberto, you made a comment, maybe closer to rolling out the website, maybe get some feedback from some members or the unions or someone to take a look at it, and maybe there's additional feedback we could provide to either enhance the usability, or whatever. So, but overall, great job. Thank you.
Any other trustees?
Yeah,
If not, I'll jump. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Hi, Barbara. And Roberto. Barbara, this is a great job in terms of the communications program. I can see the progress and how everything's working out. I just had a couple of quick questions. Have you had any feedback on any of the things that have been implemented? Like, I think it was the webinar, maybe the short videos. And in terms of, was there any other input from members over time as you discuss these things? And then finally, is there a way of tracking usage and any other metrics from members to see how this is going to be accepted or has been accepted so far?
I think, well, let me address your last question first, if you will allow me that. I think when we new website, we're going to have much better statistical analysis available to us, so we can really hone in on where members are navigating to, and how long they're spending there. And so I think going into the future, we should be able to provide better insight into who's using our website and where's our popular pages. Now, going back to some of your other questions, yeah, we got very good feedback, funny, for the open enrollment website, overwhelmingly positive, easy to use. From the feedback that we received. The videos from the actives, I've received some feedback on those, that they are helpful. Obviously, always nice to have some staff to talk to as well, but the videos are a source of information that some people have said have answered some questions, so that's good. And did I miss any of your other questions?
No, that's great. No, I think you covered it. Thank you. It was a great job.
Any other questions? If not, let me go ahead, Roberto. You go ahead.
And I just wanted to say that I think internally our goal is to come before you board to keep you updated on the plan, hopefully every 6 months or so. So we're here today in February. We probably come back to you right after the summer in August, and again in January and February standpoint. So again, about twice a year. I think right now that's our goal, unless your board prefers otherwise. But I think that's a reasonable time frame in between updating your board.
That's great. Thanks. Give me, board, if you'll allow me a minute or two to weigh in here as the chairman. I know, Roberto, that you take enormous pride in your staff, and it's well earned because you've really built a superb staff. And this board already knows, poor Barbara, I just speak her praises one more time, the 101st time. Barbara, it's really great to have you here. You did such a good job with Pension Gold, and you've shown the same attention to detail and drive here with the strategic communications plan. But I'd really like to single out another member of your staff, and that's you, Linda. Wow. So there's a strategic communications plan, Linda, and as Roberto alluded to in his statement, it's also a tactical communications plan. Just keeping the board informed and so on. Linda, I cannot praise you highly enough. I'm on 10 boards now, Linda, and your mastery of Zoom and your ability to MC these board meetings, Linda, is up there with the best I've ever seen. Linda, I cannot sing your praise highly enough. Linda, you dove in with great enthusiasm. You mastered Zoom, Linda, and these meetings have been seamless and flawless. Not true for all the boards I'm on. And also to sing your praise, Linda, I'm sure your ears are burning right now. You know, Linda, it's been hard with the pandemic because we've had to change how we communicate, you know, with folks. We're not seeing them in person. And I got to tell you, Linda, you are just superb. Every time I reach out to you, Linda, you get right back to me. I feel like you listened to what I had to know. When there's something I need to know, you're sort of doing that Radar O'Reilly thing, Linda, where I don't even need to ask her. It just shows up for me thinking, oh, that's good. I was about to send an email to Linda, and there it is. And I'm sure, Roberto, you concur. So Roberto and Barbara and Linda, just first rate. I really feel like this has been sort of a seamless transition through pandemic. And that hasn't always happened. So hats off. I know, Roberto, if you want to sing your praises of Linda after I just have.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that you mentioned that, right? Because my wife reminds me from time to time. I mean, I don't see how she can even say that I could be difficult sometimes. I suspect the other person that can tell you that is Linda, and God bless her. You know, she's always there. As you said, she's available, honestly, 24/7. I could be emailing at 10 o'clock at night, or maybe that's too late because I'm asleep at that time, but, you know, 5 o'clock in the morning or a Sunday. And, you know, she's always there to help me out. So, boy, she's engaged, 200% committed. A strong force, and without her support, obviously, and you know, as much as we obviously she deserves to be singled out because she's done an outstanding job, and her engagement is second to none, and so has also Barbara, which have a lot of her play, obviously. And you may recall now, not only she is in charge of the different areas, but she is actually very more individually involved in the managing of the benefits area, because we have obviously one person on leave until May. But you know, it would not be fair to not mention the rest of the staff, right? I mean, Prabhu has done an excellent job with investment staff, who has been outstanding. They do great work, and the engagement, again, is second to none. But the rest of the office, right? The addition of the CAFR with accounting staff, IT has been very busy. I mean, all this Zoom and everything else, obviously, you know, Linda and her staff, Michelle and Marty, obviously, they're always there and working through the process. Michelle is always sharing the screens and making sure that, you know, nothing fall off in the meeting. The IT staff, making sure that staff can continue working remotely when there's an issue with access and VPN, and just getting access to all the laptops and making sure that they're ready to deploy them to the staff. And ultimately, the benefit staff. They just, you know, we have been working the benefit staff to death. Obviously, it is hard. I mean, I have heard them at times. We have some vacancies in that area, but the job doesn't stop. Obviously, we have to continue providing services to our members. At the end of the day, we want to make sure that they are served correctly and they get their benefits timed and accurately. And so I just want to send kudos, you know, as much as we, you know, obviously single out Linda and Barbara because they deserve so. I think the whole staff have done an outstanding job, and we owe them a big, you know, gratitude for their engagement and the commitment. So again, on behalf of both of you boards and the membership, I just want to call attention to the full staff for the excellent job that they have done over the last year since the pandemic. So thank you very much. Thank you, Drew, for those nice comments.
And hats off to you, Roberto. You've truly built, and I know they have. Remember the motto, Roberto: if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. It's clear your staff enjoys working for you, enjoys working for the ORS. So my hats off to you, Roberto. You have led, and people have followed. Good for you. So, all right, item 4H, discussion and action on police fire strategic plan. So I don't have a formal presentation. I probably will at the next board meeting or the one after that. So everything in life has cycles, right? You know, the sun goes up, the sun goes down every day, and then the days get warmer, the days get colder, and then people grow older. And so it is with us, right? Every meeting we look at retirements and we talk about stuff. And then every year we talk about the discount rate. And then every couple of years we sort of pick up a strategic theme. We picked up risk a few years ago. There's a longer arc. Vince, I think, is now into his second decade, and I will be in a few months. And there's a very long arc that goes back, I look it up, Vince, to a meeting down at the Hayes Mansion, the first offsite I attended that Sean Caldor chaired when he was chairman of the board on March 7th, 2012. And it was at that offsite that fellow trustee Sunzeri, Vince, stood up and launched us on a long looping strategic arc that led to us being the 8th best performing, at least to date, pension plan and double-digit returns during a difficult year. And along the way, there's been, I looked this up too, Vince, there's been 7 offsites at the Hayes Mansion. And these have been where the board actually can take the time to deeply dive into something. You could sort of argue that every strategic meeting has orbited somehow around the discount rate. And that kind of makes sense because that's the big lever arm on the wall. I led 2 of those. I think, Vince, you've led 2 or 3 of those. So it's time to loop again on this. And so the new trustees don't know, there was a grand jury convened a couple of years ago. And one of the things the grand jury looked at was sort of the performance of the plan. You know, so we're kind of in a hole. Where did this hole come from, right? And I was one of the people, I'm sure probably most of the trustees at the time, I know, Roberto, you were in there, was summoned to the grand jury. And they were super friendly folks, and we sort of met in a small room. And they sort of said, okay, so where'd the pension hole come from? And I said, well, we obviously failed to meet our forecast. And they said, okay, well, where did you fail to meet your forecast? And I said, well, there's assets and liabilities, and there's, you know, inflation rate was lower than we thought. And after about 3 minutes, and after about 4 questions, I suddenly realized I had no idea how to go any deeper with these people. They were asking me perfectly reasonable, perfectly logical questions that I didn't have an answer to. And I thought to myself, I've been on this board for 8 years, and lay people on the grand jury can ask me very straightforward questions about our assets and our liabilities, and I don't know the answer to it. So that started me down a long path that has led to now this discussion with my fellow board members. So I had planned to spend this year as the vice chair digging into that and setting it all up to tee off to the board when I became chairman in January of 2022. But Andrew and I, for a number of reasons, had to swap jobs. So I'm a bit out of place here. If I was doing this in January 2022, it would be all pretty and we'd have slides and everything. So I asked the board to bear with me, but I've said this before the board and I'll say it again. I've talked to enough board members to know I have broad support. Roberto and I've met on this once already. I've talked to Prabhu about it and the actuary. So coming up soon, I don't know if it'll be this fall when COVID's over or next spring, we are going to have an offsite. We're going to dig in and answer the question. So where'd the hole come from? And it's not rocket science to ask the question, right? Well, so we forecast we'd be somewhere and we're not there. Okay, so clearly what we forecast about the future back in 97, 98, 2003, 4 didn't happen. Well, there was the crash of 08. Okay, I'm sure that has. So we're going to dig in and ask that. I've got staff involved. I've got the actuaries involved. So far, all I'm doing is just trying to gather data. And once we have some data set up, then I will present to the board, you know, what I think makes sense, and we'll debate and maybe over a couple of board meetings decide how to pursue this. But I wanted to bring the board up to speed on what I'm doing. I'm not trying to do stuff in the background. It's just that my plan had been to tee all this up as vice chair and then bring it to you as chair. And I'm a year early, so I would ask the board's forbearance on this to bear with me while I work with Roberto and staff and the actuary to tee this up in a way that the board can debate and decide how it wants to proceed. I don't know if you want to weigh in on that, Roberto. You and I have spoken once or twice on this.
Yeah, I mean, again, I hate to do this because obviously it's publicly, but you know, I shared this with you, Drew. The level of engagement and commitment by many of you as trustees of this board is just amazing. You know, I think on behalf of the membership, I don't think we can thank you enough, and the rest of you trustees for the level of engagement and the kind of work that you're doing. So, you know, I don't have any specific comments right now. I think I will have further comments once you're ready to start addressing some of the issues that you're raising in terms of you know, that delta between you know, what the expectations are and the actual results. And I just, you know, I'm looking forward to the discussion and hoping that out of the discussion, we can find a way, you know, to be, not only to be more ready, but I think at the end of the day, really, and I don't want to speak for you on this, Drew, but you know, at the end of the day, we just want to make sure that we have a process by which, at the end of the day, when the cost of the plan is, you know, 40 years from now, that we were very effective on getting what that costs over time, right? Because sure, 40 years from now, someone can say it costs the plan, I don't know, $10 billion, $15 billion, but it's the year in and year out that has the impact on the budget, on the members, on the city, on the plan. And so getting closer to those expectations and having a decision making that provides you with the kind of data that you need to make very informed decisions, I think is critical to making sure that that annual delta on the actual cost is minimized as much as possible. So, I mean, again, kudos for trying to lead this discussion on the work that is really coming out of it, and I'm looking forward to the discussion in the next couple of meetings.
Great, thanks for, I really don't want to open the floor up for discussion because the whole point of my saying this was it's sort of premature. So if any of you have any questions about this, sort of hold them for a board meeting or two from now when working with Roberto and staff, I can tee this up in a way that we can all sort of debate and reach consensus on how to go forward. So let me go ahead and move on to service retirement. So I'm going to read a list of 9 members who are retiring. The retirement of Richard J. Cadinia, Fire Engineer, Fire Department, effective Feb 26, 2021 with 25.00 years of service. You don't usually see a 00. Merrick Giordano, Fire Captain, Fire Department, effective January 29, 2021 with 26.02 years of service. Albert Hernandez, Fire Department, Fire Captain, Fire Department, effective January 27, 2021 with 25.12 years of service. Jonathan T. Kaiser, Police Officer, Police Department, effective January 23, 2021 with 27.02 years of service. Troy A. Murray, Police Officer, Police Department, effective January 31st, 2021 with 27.48 years of service. Manuel M. Pereira Jr., Battalion Chief, Fire Department, effective January 23rd, 2021 with 29.90 years of service with reciprocity. Peter L. Roman, Fire Captain, Fire Department, effective January 30th, 2021 with 26.63 years of service, again with reciprocity. Jesus Sanchez, Fire Engineer, Fire Department, effective Feb 20, 2021 with 25.03 years of service. And Tim K. West, Fire Engineer, Fire Department, effective February 8th, 2021 with 25.00 years of service. I'll entertain a motion to approve these.
So moved, Santos.
So moved by Santos. Do I have a second?
Muyo.
Second by Lee.
Second by Muyo. I will go down the roll for approval. Andrew?
Aye.
Sunita? Sunita?
Aye.
Oh, good. Howard?
Yes.
Eshvar?
Aye.
Nick?
Aye.
Dick?
Yes.
And Vince?
Aye.
Chair Lanza, I vote aye. I don't know, Dick, Nick, Andrew, Franco, feel free to jump in too, if any of you want to say anything about these, any of these folks.
Well, there's Santos here. I worked with many of them, and it's really ironic when I see Troy Murray, because his dad and I were colleagues together at Station 8 when he was born. So the best to all of you. The time is flying by, but congratulations. Then be safe.
Uncle Dick. That's great. Anything else, Franco, Andrew, Nick, anything you want to comment on?
Yeah, you know, it's funny with Dick mentioning working with Troy's dad. I remember when Troy got hired at the PD, so we kind of got him covered on both ends. But just want to wish continued success and a happy retirement to everybody on the police side and the fire side as well.
Great, thanks.
And I'll jump in, echo what everybody said. All these people that are retiring have been great people to work with. Many of them, you know, I see on a regular basis. So congratulations, stay healthy, and thank you for your service.
That's great. Thanks, guys. We will now read the deaths of our retired members, and then we'll have a moment of silence. So this is announcing the deaths of Gary Hughes, police sergeant, retired June 7th, 2001. He passed away on December 7th, 2020. His survivorship benefits go to Penny Hughes, his spouse. We're notifying you the death of John Kriegel, police officer, retired September 3rd, 1985. Good for you, Gary. Just died passed away October 21st, 2020, leaving behind no survivorship benefits. And notification of the death of Craig Shelton, fire engineer, retired January 30th, 2005, passed away November 17th, 2020, with survivorship benefits to Margaret Shelton and his spouse. We'll now have a moment of silence. Thank you, board. I don't know if, again, Nick, Dick, Andrew, Franco, jump in if you want to. If any of you want to say anything about any of these folks.
Well, I will. Craig Shelton was a very quiet man and very efficient, and it's sad to hear. Same with the police officers. I wish their families peace and love, and be safe. And thank you.
Yeah, I did not know John well. I worked with Gary, so it's very sad to hear of his passing, as it is with everybody else. So condolences to their family and friends. Thanks, Drew.
Sure. Let's move on then to the final part of the agenda. And thank you, board. We're breaking a land speed record here for brevity in meetings. Audit. Hang on. Investment committee. Eshvar, anything to report out?
No, we've had no meetings since the last meeting. So.
Great. Howard, anything to report out from audit?
No, we have an audit meeting, Drew, as you know, coming up on the 18th.
Oh, right. Yeah, I got that. Governance, anything to report out, Nick?
No, sir, nothing new to report out of governance.
Great. Disability committee, Dick, I know we've got a meeting this Monday. Anything to report out on disability?
Nope, you just got through saying it. We'll see you at 10 o'clock on Monday.
Be there, be square, brother. Joint Personnel Committee, anything to report out on that one, Vince?
Nothing to report out at this time, Drew.
We're 4 minutes over 2 hours. What's wrong with you people? Any proposed, anything anybody wants to put on the agenda for next month? Any public comments?
Yeah, there's something you can put on there. Send us over a lunch.
Yeah, yeah. You know, Dick, over Christmas, we had some boards where they sent us like wine and cheese by mail, and we all did a virtual. It was kind of weird, but it was fun.
I love you, Mr. Chairman, but
it's actually not a bad idea.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Dick. Any other comments from any of the board members? Wow, Okay, it's a new land speed record. I thank the board. We'll see you all in a month.